Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Now, you may not have seen this video coming, but there is a new car in my life and I cannot wait to share with you what it is. But I thought I'd also take this opportunity to give you a bit of a garage update and talk you through the cars behind me and the plans I have for them. Now, I know I'm not of the scale of some car channels with big car collections, but all of the cars behind me have stories and have content planned, which I thought you would find interesting. But before we get on to that, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button because it really does help the channel. And if you want to be notified when new videos land, then make sure you ring the notification bell as well. But there is much to discuss. Let's get cracking. So we'll start my quick garage update with Ruby Roadster, the oldest of them all. I had this car over 7 years now, and she still brings a smile to my face every time I get in her and go for a drive. An absolute riot. I do need to say, by the way, that although all of these cars are actually cleaned quite recently, the harvest has started, and that means basically overnight you just get this film of dust and ming all over the cars. They're incredibly difficult to keep clean. So plans for Ruby Roadster, although she's got no more major modifications due, I do still want to keep creating content with her. And she's going to be going up to Darren at Mulgari for a few little tweaks. I'm going to change the map on the car to get rid of the pops and bangs. We're going to have a little bit of a play with the suspension and geometry setup. And I'm also going to try and solve the squeaky brake problem. So there is plenty of content coming with the Mini Roadster, and also I've got a couple of track days planned later on this year which she'll be starring in because she's an absolute weapon on track. So this one ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Next up, Lady P. I absolutely love this car. I have a mild issue at the moment in that I've put so many miles on it already. I'm trying to back off how much I use her just a little bit, just to be sensible. Again, she was absolutely beautiful and spotless at the weekend. Mrs. Petrol Ped actually drove her up to the Cotswolds and back, so she's got lots of fly strikes on the front, but just so happy with the car. A few of you have asked for a proper review. I haven't really done a review of this car yet, so that will be coming to the channel very soon. I'm also going to do a video about insurance and financing of a car like this, and there'll be plenty of other content as well. I'd also quite like to get her on track because my insurance partner Lockton Performance insure this car for track use, so it would be rude not to put that to the test. So Lady P, absolutely love this car, isn't going anywhere, and I can't imagine a better car, to be honest. So these are my two cars that I own. The stories of those continue. They're not going anywhere. There will be and remain stars on the channel. Next up, the Renault Arkana. So yes, as I'm sure many of you know, I am a brand ambassador for the Hendy Group, and as part of that I get given a long-termer, and the initial plan for that agreement was I'd get the car for maybe 2 months and swap them out quite regularly. The current supply problems in the car industry mean that 2 months generally has been 3 or maybe even 4 months. So I've actually had the Arkana quite a while now, even though I haven't created that much content on the channel with it. And that's a combination of factors. That's kind of generally just being busy and doing lots of things. This car's been a real workhorse in the background, getting me to the various filming locations and so on. And I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this car. I love the way it looks. I love the paintwork when it's not covered in crop dust ming. It's a stunning looking car to look at. It's got a fantastic interior. It's very comfortable on a long journey, and it's also very economic on a long journey. The hate bit, and hate's a strong word, the bit I don't like so much about the car is the engine. I just think the engine lets the car down, but that's for me and my requirements. It's a 1.6 litre hybrid, and it just strains and struggles at times when you're pushing on. But if you want a car that looks great, that is comfortable inside, that has all the bells and whistles, and you're doing predominantly local journeys and you're thinking about fuel economy and those types of things, this is a brilliant option for you. If you want to push on and have a little bit of a spirited drive every now and again, I think this car will disappoint. So there's still a huge market for it. Now, this car actually goes back next week to Hendy and will be replaced the week after, because we couldn't tie up dropping it off and picking up a new one. So the new car that I'm announcing today is not a Hendy car. Many of you tried to guess and had assumed it would be a Hendy car. It's not. This will be replaced in a couple of weeks' time, and I'll see if you can guess what it's going to be replaced by. The hint I'm going to give you, I'll give you two hints. One, it is an all-electric car, and two, I've driven one on the channel already. And I'm very excited about getting to spend some time with it, because I think as a proposition to live with as an EV, it's right up there. So yeah, so the new car is not a Hendy car. The new car's parked just there. It's in addition to my Hendy car. That's why I've kind of called it a fleet almost. I'll be running 4 cars in total, plus any press cars that I have. There's actually a situation in a couple of weeks' time where I'll have 6 cars here, which is just ridiculous. I think I'm turning into Shmee 150. So yeah, Renault Arkana, sad to see it go, but excited for its replacement. But do you want to see what's parked next to it? Because honestly, it's wicked. Ta-da! Welcome to the new member of my fleet, the MSRT limited edition Ford Ranger. What a thing. Now, I think I'll probably best get these cars out of the way and tell you a little bit more about where this car's come from, the backstory, because it is a little bit left field. So I've probably got a little bit of explaining to do. Let's go back in time to the end of summer last year, when the guys at Hendy Ford in Portsmouth lent me an MSRT transit van. You might remember it was bright yellow and looked absolutely awesome. And then I used that transit van, I drove up to Edinburgh to Criterium Cycles to pick up all of my bikes for Cycle Sunday. And I did a video around that whole journey, around the MSRT Transit, and it did really, really well. A few months ago, I got contacted directly by the guys at MSRT, and they said, look, we loved what you did with the transit van. It kind of really showed off what that vehicle can do. It's for sure a commercial vehicle, but it's got a fun side as well, a lifestyle side. And they said, look, we also do this new limited edition Ford Ranger pickup, and we wondered if we gave you one for a little while, just how creative can you be with the video content that you make? It's almost a challenge. Would you be up for it? And I said, absolutely. I'm always trying to find different and diverse content to share with you lot. And I love the concept of MSRT. If you don't know too much about the company, by the way, so you buy one of these direct from a Ford dealer, but MSRT are a collaboration with effectively the M Sport company run up by Malcolm Wilson, they're famed for making rally cars and GT3 cars and motorsport. And what they do is they take a base Ford commercial vehicle, in this case the Ford Ranger in the yellow transit van, that was just a short wheelbase double cab transit van, and they give it some sporty tweaks. They enhance the aesthetics. So if you're a tradesperson and you want a vehicle that you probably spend all day every day in, looking just a little bit more cool than a boggo standard white transit van, these things are for you. So what we've got here is their limited edition Ford Ranger. They're only making 700 of these. I absolutely love the way this thing looks, but more about that in a little while. It's just, first of all, it's massive. But basically, there's no tuning or performance modifications. It's all purely aesthetics. The aesthetics start off at the front end. It's got completely new wings, so kind of bulged out wings, front and rear. It's got a completely new front end, new bumpers, and then also a carbon fibre effect around the grille and around the fog lights there. It just sets the front of the car off really nicely. Other standout features, you'll probably spot these huge 20-inch OZ alloys. Now the Transit van, I love that because that had OZ alloys on it, and you think it's not often you see a Transit van with OZ racing alloys. These 20-inch diamond cut with gloss black, I just think they look absolutely lovely. And then we'll wander around the back. It's also got carbon fibre effect mirror caps too. Let's wander around the back and talk about the back and some of the ideas I've got for content, but stay tuned because I need your help in a big way. This thing is huge. I am 6'3" and I can barely see in. You want to try washing it. I mean, washing the roof, you have to basically get in the flatbed. So if we come round the back, it has a new rear bumper compared with the Ford Ranger, but let me kind of clamber in to the load area. Ugh. Now, a couple of things. I guess if you're using this as a commercial vehicle, first thing, this has got a 1-ton payload capacity. I doubt I'm ever going to hit that one, but one of the things I'm really excited to try out is what this is like for carrying bikes around, especially my e-bike, my mountain bike. There's plenty of room in here. You know, it's easy to kind of jet wash it down. The big challenge at the moment is, although these, when you buy one of these, there is an option for electrically operated, almost like shutter top that will secure this load area. At the moment, this particular car doesn't have anything on it, but what I am going to be doing is going up to the MSRT factory in Wales to pay a visit and kind of look at how they make all the various bits and the various design processes, because I think that'll be really interesting. And we're going to see if we can put some kind of secure shutter system on the top, so I can at least put things in the back and park up. But if you're using this commercially, I think one of the really cool things about this vehicle is during the week you can use it and, I don't know, put building materials in or whatever your trade is, and then at the weekend it's still smart enough and flash enough to be able to go out and use it to go biking or hiking or camping or whatever it might be. The other thing is this car will tow 3.5 tons. So what I want you to start thinking about are challenges or things you'd like me to do with this truck. I've got it for 6 months, loads of time to do lots of things. I want to take it mud plugging. I definitely want to do some kind of biking challenges. I've already been having a chat with Joe Achilles because he's a big mountain biker. He's a very much better mountain biker than I'll ever be. So I think we'd like to do something together, just something a bit of fun, you know, a truck versus mountain bike. But yeah, one thing's for sure though, normally my test of a car is, can you fit 2 dogs in the boot? The dogs won't be going in here. They'll be sat in luxury in the back. But yeah, I mean, this thing, seriously? 2 dogs in the back? You get a herd of sheep in the back of this? Wicked. You have to jump in and out and make noises. Ooh, swish. Electronically deployable side steps. That is an option in this, but last time I had that was in like a Range Rover. I'm not going to be sat in the back very often, I don't think. For such a gargantuan car, actually, there's not a huge amount of space in the back. I'm guessing that's because they want the payload area in the back to be as big as possible. This will be where the pups go. And for now, I guess the disadvantage of one of these without some kind of secure cover on the rear pickup part is this is the luggage area as well. Interior wise, there's a few upgrades with the MSRT. The new seats, so this is an eco leather and suede seat with really nice contrast stitching. They look the part, big style. Let's jump in the front and talk about the basic spec of the car. There's a couple of other very nice MSRT bits. Hey, these side steps are dead posh. Liking that a lot. Do like those power steps. Believe me, you need them. So either have those or a ladder to get into it. It's that big. Now, it's a really lovely and well-appointed place in here. It certainly elevates a standard commercial vehicle to something that feels really special. There's some nice trim work. There's nice leather top to the dash with some contrast stitching that matches the seats. I've mentioned the seats already, but in the front, really sporty look. I love the kind of little MSRT logo there and the contrast between the suede and the eco leather. The steering wheel, again, so this is an upgrade as well. This is the sport steering wheel from MSRT. Has a very similar look and feel to the one that was in the Transit van I had last year. I quite like them. When I first got into it, I didn't really get the shape around here, but actually on a longer journey, there's just a natural place where your hands fall and it's quite comfortable. There's no performance modifications to this. So up front, we've got a 2-litre bi-turbo diesel. Performance figures, so it's 213 PS. So that's not going to set the world on fire, but it's 500 Newton meters of torque. So it's all about either pulling a heavy load on a trailer or carrying around a heavy load in the back. So it will be interesting to see what it's like to live with, just certainly in terms of things like fuel economy. It's the first diesel I've had for a while, so I'll have to be super careful when I go and fill it up, just in case I misfuel it with Super Plus or something. Ford Sync 3 infotainment system, not use one of those over a long term, so that will be quite interesting. And then gearbox wise, it's a 10-speed auto. When did that happen? When did cars have 10 speeds? I remember my dad getting a 5-speed car and I think that was amazing. Now it's got 10 gears in the auto gearbox. But then also in terms of drivetrain, I've got 3 options. At the moment it's set to 2-wheel drive, high ratio, but you've also got two four-wheel drive options, so four-wheel drive high ratio, four-wheel drive low ratio. So I'd really like to put those to the test, so I feel a little bit of off-roading coming along. But all in all, it's just a really, really nice place in here. Now, I don't plan to do any driving in this video, but let me jump out and give you my final kind of thoughts on the car, and also some idea as to some of the content and the way I'm going to use this car over the next 6 months. I just love it. Now, I am going to show my age a little bit here, but those of you who are a similar age to me, when I was a kid, one of my favourite TV shows was called The Fall Guy. It starred Lee Majors as Colt Sievers, who was a stuntman. It's just a brilliant, brilliant show, but he used to drive around in this massive, big American pickup truck. And I'm going to be embracing my inner Colt Sievers, I think, over the next 6 months, because it's just such a massive, cool-looking thing. Even Mrs. Petrol Ped came home and went, "That's cool. When am I driving it?" So she's looking forward to having a go as well. But as I said, the brief from MSRT was to take the Ranger over the next 6 months and just put it to the test. Try cool things in it, exciting things in it. They give me a really open brief. So please get your thinking caps on, get in the comments below and give me some challenges. They need to be reasonably realistic. You know, I don't want you to tell me to drive it through the Grand Canyon or anything, but you know, I've got a fairly big brief. The one thing I don't have, I mentioned the towing weight, it doesn't have a tow bar, unfortunately, so I can't do any towing unless I get loads of requests to do towing stuff, and then I'll see if MSRT will fit a tow bar for me. So it doesn't have a tow bar, but yeah, anything else. But what do you think of my new limited edition MSRT Ford Ranger? As you can tell, it's so left field. I'm normally all about drivers' cars and sporty cars, and I'll still be doing that. We talked through my fleet, if you like, the cars that I've got, and I'll still be creating content with them, but I just thought this was just that little bit left field, that little bit different. Appeals to, you know, a bit of fun, bit of a different audience as well, potentially. But yeah, I think the next 6 months are going to be a huge amount of fun. Anyway, let me know what you think to the Ranger, but I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next video, which you never know, could be me embracing my inner Colt Sievers. Now, if only YouTube didn't have a sad on whenever you play copyrighted music, because I would have to play this video out with a theme tune to The Fall Guy. I can't do that, but this is going to be a fun 6 months. Drive safe, guys.